Welcome to Enquiry into Self, and this is part 4 in the 7-part series where I'm sharing my personal experience of arriving at experiencing peace as the nature of existence, even during upheaval. So, as I started to feel, wow, peace is like it takes a lot, it's available, but it's a deep maturation, and what I want from others I have to be willing to do myself. As I started to feel that more and more, I became more and more attuned to when I was furthering peace and when I wasn't. And the big thing that came up for me is there are people who in various positions of power, whether it's economically or politically, seem to do things that abuse that power, seem to take advantage and um, release a lot of toxins into the environment, take up control from smaller business owners, and then make a worse business than what there was before. And of course, you can continue on through various political leaders and people who seem to cause wars, etc. So as I looked at them, I would make comments to friends, and it could be just simply saying that person's name. Oh, there goes so and so. And very disapproving, very critical, um, disgruntled, Certainly, I know better than them than to act like they're acting. And I would catch myself doing this. I could feel that I was not feeling peaceful. And it was actually making the world feel like a worse place, because this this argument that I was having was making the world feel like an argument. It was very interesting how everything in the world seemed worse when I was arguing with the world. And then, I had this experience walking into a room where there were a bunch of people, and suddenly it flashed in my head, what if all the people in this room were angry at me and were disapproving of me? And I could imagine how hard it would be walking into that room. How could I be my most creative, my most alive, my most joyful, my most kind person if that all that anger were directed towards me? And some of the people that I was thinking of, they do have millions of people who are angry at them. Millions of people directing anger towards them. And on an energetic level, it's very, very real. I mean, we can easily feel it in a room, but when it's millions of people, you don't have to be in the same room with them to feel it. And that made me think, how in the world can these people grow? How can they have the self-reflection to grow to the next stage when they're just defending against all this anger? So I became a whole lot more conscious about what I was saying about these people, what I was directing in their direction. It really matters. And I felt like my commitment to peace deepened greatly when I stopped having this war that was going on. And it was interesting, once I stopped having that war, I knew that at their core, they have the possibility of growing out of these things in the same way that I have. Yeah, there may be ways to say no, to tell them we're not going to allow that anymore, but it can be done in a firm way. It doesn't have to be done in a condemning, accusatory way. You can simply hand out consequences without shaming the person and demeaning them. So this really started to change my experience of all the world events, actually. And peace seemed obviously here and in my experience. Okay, so now we'll continue on to the next step of reaching the place where I feel peace to be the nature of existence, even during upheaval.